Yeah.
And at the Science Center, I was like, oh, and I was trying so much. It was delicious.
Yeah, we drank a lot.
And it was great because we were Ubering. We were not driving or anything. Oh, I think he brought in an animal. I say a cage of some sort. Oh, shit.
Live from the Injured on the Go Just Call Mo studio.
It's a blast!
It's Orlando's own Tom and Dan.
Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. We are live on Twitch and also YouTube. Just go there, like, and subscribe at Tom and Dan Live.
On the couch, a good friend of the show has been coming in to do our podcast.
How many years?
And we'll ask him.
Well, since
because,
we've had this studio, so how long have we been here?
And even before,
Yeah.
I think.
I think he came to my house one time.
Got to be
maybe
close
twice.
to 10 years. He's going to be at Porkies Comedy Club Friday and Saturday night.
Yes, sir.
Killer Beazs is here. How you doing, Killer Beazs?
Hey, I'm doing great,
Hey.
man. Thanks for having me, and good to see y'all.
Good to see you too, man. It's been, when is the last time we had Beazs? It's been a minute because I think the last time you rolled through, we missed you because I think we were on vacation. I think I had an exchange with corporate.
Right,
that we
right.
were already like booked to go. So I think you had a trip, and then we
Yeah,
missed
yeah,
Beazs.
yeah.
So hey, welcome and glad to see you,
I
man.
think it's been a year, or probably at least a year.
I think it's
Has
been
it
over
a
a
year?
year. I think it's been
Something
over a year. Yeah.
Time is going by too fast, Beazs. I
Yeah.
don't know if you know
telling me?
this. Yeah, I know.
Don't tell Beazs that.
So, I don't know why I've never done this, but I never went to Beazs Wikipedia and then just read through.
Well,
I don't know why.
I
Maybe
mean,
I did
honestly,
it 10 years
we've known
ago.
him so long since when we were on the Monsters
yeah.
till now. I kind of feel like
We already knew his background.
I
we know.
think you were pre-Wikipedia.
I'm pretty sure I was.
No, I'm dead
Okay.
serious. Like I think from me as a broadcaster, like I met you before there was a tool that you could go to and just type in Killer Bees and go like, oh, what's this guy about? There was no tool. I had to actually like, hello, sir, how are you? You know, and you're
I
like,
remember.
hi, I'm
You had-
Killer Bees.
You had me send in a short story. Remember that? I need 3 paragraphs.
Yeah, that was like me in Flagler College. I had to write an essay. You know?
So,
the
Bees-
essay's the only thing that got me in.
And the reason why I bring up the Wikipedia, and you mentioned it right before we started recording, that you're 43 years in, is that I was looking
That's
through
so awesome,
Wikipedia, and it talked about your first performance in 1982. I was born in 1982. I'm about to turn 43
Yeah.
in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then I was like, my God. I mean, what a unbelievable career length
I know.
to be working and
I mean,
continuing to work 43
Sitting
GD
before
years.
me, 2 42-year representations of good bees. Yeah, we have a good career over here, and then we have whatever you're doing.
So, tell me, Bees, tell us all, like, because I'm, as, you know, it's funny, too, because you, and I'm sure you've thought this before.
Oh, damn, we got Ryan in the chat room saying pardon, but he's saying earliest Bees memory. Appearances on John Boy and Billy back when I was in elementary school. That would have been 93, 94.
Wow.
You were on the big show.
That's right, out of Charlotte.
Yeah, man.
So, give me some advice, Bees. Tell us about life. What do we need to do? You know, because you always seem happy. You travel around with corporate, your wife. You've been doing that for years.
Yeah, but it seems very, I mean, I'm sure there's hiccups and problems and issues, but you do seem very content and like you're having a good time.
We've talked to you about your house before. That seems awesome.
We've talked to you about moonshine.
We talked, you continue to be driven
Hobbies.
in your career.
I think we've dabbled in a little bit of guitar. You and I were geeking out a little bit before the show.
Well, it's been a very blessed career, man. I'll just have to say that. And I will say unabashedly that I was really meant to do this. I have been funny since I was a little baby. I don't know if I told y'all the story. My earliest memories in my dome is from living in a funeral home in Kosciuszko, Mississippi. My dad was a funeral director, and we lived in an apartment in this funeral home. And I had the run of the place as a toddler, and I would see sad people come and go from where I lived. And I had no concept of life or death of any of that stuff, but I learned when I was a little bitty baby that I could do just silly little cute stuff, and the crying people would stop crying and come over and smile and talk to me. And I feel like that has fueled my compulsion, and it is a compulsion to make people around me laugh and smile. I don't do good around stoic people because I'm afraid something's wrong. I think we should all every day And I'm a godly man. I think we should all get up every day and be thankful for the day God gave us and act thankful until at least 10:30 or 11 when we find out it's going to suck just like yesterday.
But it's the gratitude. It's tricking your brain into a positive outlook. I try to do this with my sons, and I want to go all into this, Beaz, because I want to go back into you growing up in a funeral home, and your dad not only was a Korean War veteran,
correct,
but he was also a captain for the Jackson, Mississippi Police Department,
correct,
and a funeral director and embalmer, which is
a lot going on there.
A real man in my book.
I've seen some things. And that man has seen a few things.
And it seems like maybe more of a stoic man. I'm painting a picture of a real man police.
How much of him is in you,
Captain?
Well, I believe that his calm demeanor is in me. He did not get flustered. He didn't. There was nothing that went down that had him agog.
Okay.
He was just steadfast.
But correct. But my mom was silly. She was silly and funny, I think that I get a lot of that from her.
From Mama.
And she was amazing because my mother went to college for the first time after having 4 kids and actually got her PhD.
Holy smokes.
Her doctorate in education, and with that
she was a teacher.
Correct. And with that degree, she taught special ed in public school. Wow. And to me, that is the most compassionate,
she's like a servant,
and giving, and
public
just
servant
an amazing,
going back to do that.
Right, an amazing thing that she did that. So fast forward from the funeral home when I was a toddler, we moved to Jackson, Mississippi, and a gentleman who went to embalming school with my dad in Nashville moved to Jackson and opened a funeral home. And this funeral home had an emergency ambulance service. Way back in old-timey days, the municipalities had not taken over the ambulance services yet. And so my dad got me a job with this guy when I was 17 years old, working at the funeral home, working in the ambulance. At the age of 17, I ran emergency ambulance calls every other night.
This
and
must
every
be
other
a southern
weekend.
thing. My dad drove ambulances when he was a young man at like 17, 18.
Really?
This is a young southern man thing in Virginia.
And this was before 911 even existed.
Yeah.
This was back
before 911?
Yes, sir. This was
Hold on,
back,
I thought 911 was real old.
No.
dude.
Like, I thought it was like they invented the telephone, a little bit went by,
I'll
and then
blow your
911.
mind. At 48, I remember when there was no 911.
What?
Yeah.
You're pre-911?
Yeah, I am pre-911, and I'm proud of it. I'm very proud of it.
Man, people had refrigerator magnets
Yeah.
with the ambulance phone number on it. Excuse me. But anyway, every other night and every other weekend when I was a senior in high school, I was on duty doing ambulance calls. And so when I wasn't on an active call, my dad had kept his embalming license. When I was on duty at that funeral home, he would come in and do the embalming, and I was his apprentice. So I was actually an apprentice embalmer when I was a senior in high school, in addition to running these the emergency calls. So that's how I learned that I could deal with pressure. Going on these calls, on the way to an emergency, man, the adrenaline was so hard I would bounce in that freaking ambulance seat. And
did you have any training?
Oh yeah.
Did you have any medical training?
On the job is the best training. You get there and they tell you to do something. That is the best training.
Did you have like paramedic training?
Back then we didn't have paramedics yet, but we had very advanced. EMT training did not exist in that state at that time, but it was.
We're talking Mississippi.
Correct.
Yeah.
We termed it advanced first aid. But it was but we did CPR. I bet I've done CPR 40 or 50 times.
Oh my God!
On people.
Did it ever
And
work?
so
Because I hear it never works.
You know what?
I'm not a
believer. Sadly, the ratio of people we could bring back was very low because of the time difference that you had to wait for the ambulance to get there. If people would learn CPR, these days you don't even have to do the mouth to mouth part as much.
Yeah, you can use your butt now.
But back then,
it's a comedy show, Tom. I get stabbed. I sit here for so long, I start vibrating. I'm like,
that's fine. Keep doing it. Keep doing it.
But the thing is, back then, something would go down. Everybody would freak. Yeah. Then somebody would run to their phone. Didn't have cell phones. They'd have to run inside to the phone. They would have to look up. Where's that number on the refrigerator? They would call the dispatcher. They would call us. We would get in the ambulance and drive there. And
I like them saying, there should be a universal number we should all call.
Right.
I wish there was a universal emergency number. We have to remember this long 10-digit.
Universal? What are you, socialist?
So even if the incident happened right across the street, it's 7 minutes or so before word gets to us to get there. And by that time, it's really hard to resuscitate someone.
Because your brain has lack of oxygen.
Correct. So I urge people listening, learn CPR. It's not hard to learn, doesn't take a lot of your time. And especially, and here's something else about people talk about, having to do CPR, the mouth to mouth. Most of the time when I would go on a call and someone would just say heart attack victim, we'll say that they're generally with their family members. And do you think I would not give mouth to mouth to my brother or my sister or my mom? And it's not like just some stranger.
Yeah.
So that's tantamount to trying to save people, is get to them quick. So I urge folks to take a class, learn how to do it.
Yeah.
So Beaz, let's go back to your as a child, and I say child, you're a teenager. You're in a funeral home. You're around dead bodies. You're an apprentice embalmer, so you're literally pumping corpses filled with embalming fluid, and
you'd have to say it like that.
I mean, that's what it is.
I'd like to think of it as a little bit more of an art form.
You're exposed to what a lot of people would say traumatic experiences at a young age.
Right.
Seeing a dead body is traumatic. I remember even when I was younger.
But isn't it the trope that they use for quirky kids in all TV shows?
Well,
it's like he grew up around a funeral home, and then the kid always ends up becoming some sort of wacky guy.
Dexter.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
But
a musician or something.
But I think it's natural. Like, some people look at that and like, oh, that's too traumatic for a kid to go through. But it's like, what did kids go through 100,000 years ago? They saw dead people all the time. Like, people were dying around them.
And being eaten.
Yeah.
Right.
And then
they're probably rowing a boat as a slave of some sort, I would imagine.
Well, no, yeah, I'm talking
manpower.
I'm talking about 50,000 years, pre-civilization.
That was rough.
When we evolved, our brains probably evolved to be able to accept traumatic experiences when you were young, because you only live so long. So then this is why I bring this all up, Beaz, because I look at how you grew up and what you did at a young age, and then I look at what my sons, 9 and 10. They are not traumatized at all. Like, the most horrific thing they've seen is on anime cartoons. You know what I'm saying? They've never experienced any sort of real hardship or tragedy, just because we live in a suburb. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, life is good.
And it's not even I try to make them work and stuff, but it's they're not naturally being exposed to anything that would be signal you oh, this is real, there's a dead body here, I'm putting embalming fluid, I'm on giving CPR to multiple people that end up dying. It's like that.
I'm not even 18 and I have a job. I mean, how about something as simple as that?
Yeah.
It's like I'm in my late teens and I have a job that I have to do.
Well, here's the thing about that. I worked every other night, every other weekend, so they waived the tardy rule at school, because I would often be on an active call at 8 o'clock in the morning. And I had an English teacher that would have me come up to the front of the class and tell my classmates why I was late that day. And at that point in time, it was like, oh, man, this is gnarly. This is great. I get to tell all this cool stuff. But in retrospect, it gave me a way to verbalize what I had seen and been a part of the night before. And I believe that really helped me not have to just carry that weight, and it helped me verbalize it and gave some relief to it. And I actually saw that teacher 100 years later came to a show of mine, and I was able to tell that teacher how much that meant to me, that I was able to
it's almost like a pressure valve, right?
Correct, exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
I was able to do that. Plus, it got me in front of people telling stories for the first time. So I look back and I'm like, man, did God have this plan the whole time?
Yeah.
But that is...
Was your teacher doing it, just to clarify, it wasn't a form of punishment. It was just
Not
like,
at all.
It was just
Correct.
more like, hey, he's late, so since you're late, come on in here and tell us what you were doing. And you'd get up there and be like, hey, I was tucking this guy's...
It was an act of compassion by that teacher, and I didn't realize it
Young
at the
Beaz,
time.
come up and tell us about the person you
job.
tried to give CPR to last night and end up dying.
And
Tell the class about how you saw someone die last night.
and make sure you use adverbs, because it was an English teacher.
My kids' teachers can't even call my son by his nickname Max without me signing a form giving him permission to use a nickname. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So
It's a different time.
So, Beaz, and then what do you think that did to you? Because obviously, look at you now. You're 71. You're still grinding. You've been you're
I don't
doing
think
your
you've ever slowed down at
comedy
least since
career
we've been in this studio. I mean,
for 43 years now. I mean, that's gotta be somewhat related to growing up and then having that instilled into you early. That hey, I'm going to start working and do hard jobs.
Do you ever get bored?
No, I don't get bored with the art form. It's a very challenging art form. Spoken word, and which is what you guys do. Spoken word is, I think, the hardest art form, because you don't have music to carry you. You don't have awesome dance moves to carry you. It is all about making a movie scene in somebody's head. So there's wordsmithing that's got to be done. There's delivery, and the turn of a phrase. So it's a very detail-oriented, hard art form. I did not go into it because of that, and I did not know that about the art form when we started out. But I've just been funny since I was a little baby, and people have told me my whole life, dude, you should be a comedian. And so when I finally got the chance, I tried it and I went, you know what? I sucked. And I'm like, but it's because I did not know the mechanics of doing it on stage.
I'm going to figure this out.
And that's where, if you've really got that gift, which is a gift of levity, if you've got that gift, the work is that learning curve of learning how to do it on stage in front of strangers. When we're just sitting around together, popping off, we can all make everybody in the room laugh.
For sure.
But it's a whole different ball game when your name's on the ticket.
Yeah.
And they spent time and money.
Yeah, at that point, it's an equation, lightning in a bottle or something. You got to be able to know how to do it. Yeah, for sure.
So when, Beaz, did you decide, hey, I'm going to give stand-up comedy a try? And, I mean, obviously, we talked about 43 years ago, but how did your real man dad, feel about it?
That's a good
going
question.
into that
we've ever talked
career,
about that.
43 years ago.
How did your family think? I mean,
stand-up comedy wasn't looked at as anything serious at all.
We've never asked you that. Did you have any other entertainers possibly in the family?
No. Well, you're looking at my mom, who went to school and got a PhD after having 4 kids.
Yeah.
You're looking at my dad, 33 years police force, U.S. Army during Korea.
I like that he kept the embalming thing too, because keeping it up, I've always admired people that have that, and then they'll be like, oh, I have my realtor license or something, and then they just jump over to something, and I'm like, well,
that's
wait.
old school.
It is old school, but I'm like, wait, you always kept that up? And they're like, oh, yeah, every year I take the test. I'm like, real? What? You do that?
And so, see, I was one of these guys that never knew what I wanted to do. What do you want to be when you grow up? Down in Jackson, Mississippi, there were 4 options: fireman, policeman, doctor, truck driver, whatever.
All the Richard Scary ones, in the children's book.
And so I didn't want to choose, because I knew there were other things out there, and I thought there may be something even cooler and better and more fun that I would enjoy doing. So I was playing blues guitar on weekends in Jackson, Mississippi, working at a music store, selling guitar gear, doing some setups on guitars, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And the house band from a ritzy nightclub came in when they go, man, Kenny, the guy that runs the place, wants a comedian. You should go do it. Because I've been funny since I was a little baby. And so I said, you know what?
And you knew the guys in the band.
I'm gonna try to do that. So I went down and saw the guy and booked Friday and Saturday, 20 minutes. 20-minute shows. Had never been on stage to do
Christ, 20 minutes is a long ass time.
Right. 2 minutes is a long time.
Yeah.
So,
but not knowing the
helps
art
you.
of
It can
stand-up,
help you.
it does give you confidence. Like, I do 20 minutes, not that long. It's like, but now you're like, oh, that's an eternity.
It's like those people I see that get on a skateboard for the first time and they ride all the way down the hill perfectly. I'm like, how the hell did you do that? You know.
So it was, and I had no material. Yeah, I did stuff off Richard Pryor albums, off old records and stuff. But I also liked Gallagher. He had just came out.
Yeah.
And so I had some little props and stuff like that.
I liked Gallagher as a kid, too. Oh, my God. When he pulled that massive condom out of the couch, my head exploded.
You're like, I can smash some stuff.
Yeah. Oh, I love it.
You were like, that was my old couch.
So, and you had a little bit of reps from as a kid, telling stories to your classmates and trying to make the people in your dad's funeral home laugh when their grandma died.
I was a little too funny for the funeral business. I was better behind the scenes.
Yeah. Don't get him out there. He's ruining the mood.
At any time did your dad want you to take over his business? I'm sure that that's an old school mentality, but still exists today. Like I kind of want my sons to be interested in my business and take it over one day. Even
you know
though
what's funny is that I think that before I had kids, I'm like, I want her to do something that I do. But the more, after I have kids, I am opposed to, I hate what I do. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want her in this.
It's awesome now.
I don't want her anywhere near this. And I want
What do you mean? This is awesome.
No, it is awesome. But I want her to do her thing.
Oh, okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but what if she wanted to do it?
I mean,
it'd
be
it
the
over?
greatest.
You know
that. Yeah, but that's not going to happen.
No,
and he did not push me to do that. He did not.
Wow.
He was very cool about it.
Yeah.
And I thought that was neat that he would show me how to do some different things, but not push me like that. So that was
interesting.
So that was kind of cool. So now
he was ahead of his time then, a little bit of a dad then, because most dads that I would, if I'm adding up your age and your dad, I would imagine most dads a little more stuck in their ways than, hey, I'm going to give this guy the ability to explore. Well, that's a newer. I think that's a newer dad concept.
Again, Korean War veteran, captain in the
this
Jackson
guy broke the mold. Sounds like
Mississippi
a good dude.
Police Department and embalmer. Like you think he's ahead of his time, but like you think it'd be old school, exactly what you would think he is.
Man, he grew up poor, and when we lived in that funeral home, and we would they had to teach him at embalming school how to tie a tie. And when we would get dressed to go to church when I was a little boy, he would have me lay down on the kitchen table to tie my tie, because that's how we learned how to tie a tie.
Oh my God, like a dead body.
Right.
That
and
is
Mom,
the cool. That should be a cover of your. That should be a comedy album of yours. Like you.
I can't tie it unless you're laying down dead.
You gotta lay down like you're dead. Close your eyes.
And Mom hated it. Mom hated that. And
That's
Dad would go.
hilarious.
And Dad would go, look lifelike, son. And Mom would just go, oh, Drew, quit doing that.
Okay, so he was funny too.
This
it's
is
in the
fantastic.
genes.
It's there. It's there. Yeah, that's killer, man.
So anyway, so that's how it kind of came to fruition, I guess, if you will. And I always felt like from day one that I would acquire the chops to be successful at stand-up. I was never one of those guys who went, man, I wonder if I'll do good at it. That never occurred to me. It was when I had the opportunity to do that, I'm like, okay, that right there.
Yeah.
So
where are the big, because, I feel like country, I don't know about you guys, you're more in that world. I feel like country music's like hotter than it's almost ever been right now across the board. And it would seem like to me that you would see more. Now, again, I'm asking you because you're there. Are we getting more of an influx of our country comedians? Like, where are those guys at?
And that's a good question.
Where are Jerry Clowers?
And I don't see.
Where are Killer Bees?
I don't see a lot
of
the new guys these days, because we take our hand-picked opening act with us. That's another thing that this long into it, I'm not in those trenches. And I'll say this, I'm glad that I'm not just now starting out in my career. And this just comes from a concept of me being my age, because the audience now in the comedy clubs did not grow up in the same lifestyle that I grew up in. They grew up gaming. They grew up with digital information, and the give and take with the verbal words back and forth with real people in real time was not as much a part of their life.
Right.
So it's a different thing now. So we do very few comedy clubs now. We do mostly theaters, and it's the audiences are closer to my age because they grew up listening to John Boy and Billy throughout the years. Yeah. And this and that.
They know you already, so they come to see you. Yeah,
correct. And we have common ground.
Yeah.
So,
and that's the best place to be too, because but like going back to your stand-up career, and I want to ask you this, Beazs, because, and we've talked about this a lot with other stand-ups, and it doesn't happen so much anymore. And what I'm talking about is performing in front of audiences that don't know who you are. And you had to cut your teeth bringing your style of comedy to a bunch of strangers who had no idea who you were.
It's like cold calling.
And now we're speaking, and I think this is what happened, because like we saw like Larry the Cable Guy and other Southern comedians in the 90s, be it like Peak or whatever, and they were bringing their Southern culture to the rest of the United States.
It was a cultural exchange, sure.
And then I feel like current Southern, I'll put that in parentheses, comedians or something that grew up in a certain demographic that would relate to other demographics, they never leave their bubble of people that follow them, and they just go around performing to their audience.
Right.
Because they can promote like, hey, I'm going to be here, and then all their audience goes there.
They know where they're going.
And then they know them, and then they know exactly where, you know what I'm saying? So you're not cutting your teeth in front of an audience that doesn't know you, which is way harder to win them over, which gives you, I believe, a hardened and more experienced journey as a stand-up.
I believe that. I believe that's true. More. I think it's more valuable.
I believe that's true, man, because back then when I would work, and I've worked everywhere. I've worked Chicago, Seattle, just all over. And before I got on that part of the country, before I started traveling out, I had some anxiety or angst over it about what are these people in these foreign lands going to think of me, and especially with this accent. And so I learned that people are the same everywhere you go. All four corners of our country, there's different accent. The food's going to be a little different, or maybe a lot different. And there's culturally, there's differences, but we all have the same human experiences. We love our job or we don't. Our boss is great or we dread seeing him.
Sure, yeah.
So you learn to do an act that is universal instead of regional. And so I got to where I would do the same set in Seattle that I would do in Indianapolis, that I would do in Birmingham or Charlotte or Tampa or Corpus Christi, Texas.
Yeah. Or Porkies.
Yeah. So so that's what I had learned. But there was trepidation there because I'm like, how will they accept me? Because we didn't have cable TV then. We didn't have the internet, and people in these other places had not been exposed to the people from other places.
Anything like you. And now we're exposed to everything via the internet and social media. So it's like we already know where it's like going on vacation. People look. You could go on a vacation to a national park, and you could have walked through the entire national park on a YouTube video already to seen it, and that's what people do. They're like,
"That's the only way I do national parks." Yeah.
And then so you plan, you already seen it on the. So once you get there, you're like, "Oh, I've already walked through it in the virtual tour."
I actually like to watch the video while I'm walking the real tour. It's a little more fun that way.
You see a stand-up comedian you like on social media. If you've already been exposed to an hour of their content, you're already familiar with them. They're not a stranger to you. you. And that's a shame that that now we live in a world where we already know what's coming. And then for the comedian, they already know they're going to an audience currently that knows who they are, so there's a comfortability factor. And old school comedians, they would go into an audience, complete strangers, and perform in front of people who had no idea who, and then like weren't even familiar with Southern comics, or like maybe had a stereotype that you were going to be.
Now I think you'd seek it out.
And
that's what I mean. Like maybe that's why it's disappeared. You know, like it's like as the world gets smaller. You know, I can't even think like maybe Chris Porter. Would you even dub him a Southern comic? I don't know.
Well, I worked with Chris 100 times, generally in the South when I would work with him.
You and Chris are the only.
So
I mean, I can't think of anybody else really. You know, I mean, but it was a thing when I was a kid. It was like a thing. Like you knew that there were comics that would only be like with country music.
Here's something. So I wanted to touch this a second ago with you, that the performers these days have so much in common with the performers of old. We did, get this, true story, we did 2 weeks ago, Abbeville, South Carolina, the Abbeville Opera House, built in 1896, an iconic old-time ornate theater. And I was backstage getting ready, the show's about to start, the curtain was closed, and one of the techs goes, "Come here, I got to show you something." And he walked me to the middle of the stage, and there was a square patch in the wooden floor. And he goes, "That is where this theater made a trap door for Harry Houdini's act."
Really?
And I'm like, oh my gosh! And it just made me think about these performers. You know, stage performers, they suck it up and they go out there and they deliver. But just the gall, if you will, of this guy's rider to have, I'm going to need y'all to cut a trap door. My rider has fancy bottled water.
What do you want? What do you like? Are you a bubbly man?
A fruit tray, that kind of stuff. I'm like, holy moly.
Well, we're getting a new, this is coming back. I don't know if you guys read the article that Quentin Tarantino, I think it was 2 days ago. I mean, like, he is basically, the article should have just been called, Quentin Tarantino thinks that film, streaming, TV, computers is garbage. The last bastion of human entertainment is live stage. That is it. Seeing something live with a human to human, that's where he's going. That's his thing. Yeah.
Oh, we get this.
Yeah. So comedy, I mean, that's like going to see Beazs at Porkies, the exchange of energy from a real human to you. It may be the newest and greatest form, truly, of entertainment, because everything else is fake as F. It's just not real.
And you're overly exposed to it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like getting now.
This is authentic.
Yeah. It's almost like getting an advertisement in the real mail. You're like, whoa, what's this?
Yeah, it does get me now.
You're like, what the hell is this?
I got one yesterday for some
hold on,
infrared spa, and I was like, what?
There's a car key in here. Saying someone mailed me a car key?
They said they were going to pay me yesterday if I checked out their bank, and I opened it up and I looked for the crisp dollar bill, and it wasn't in there. I think you got to go online.
Yeah, Moonshiners pays me online. I don't even get to go. I don't get to go to the mailbox. Ooh, there's a check in there. Yeah, and that corporate just, we just disposed.
Before we run out of time, let's hit Moonshiners a little bit. Yeah, we're just over here pontificating about life with Beazs.
Thursday, this past, what's today? Friday? Tuesday, 3 day, whatever Tuesday was, I won my second episode of Master Distiller, which is a moonshining competition show that runs hand in hand with the regular Moonshiner show. So I am now 2-0 undefeated on the Master Distiller.
Now, do they have a hillbilly? Do they have a hillbilly counterpart that is like the hillbilly Gordon Ramsay, who he will take a sip of your?
Several of them. Yes, like, they do.
I can't taste none of the elderflower. I can't taste none of the cinnamon. And I think you done plumb ruined the challenge. You suck.
And they'll use words like on the back end.
Yeah.
Or, and it's got a nose on it. All this stuff.
It's got a motor oil finish.
So anyway, I was lucky enough to win another episode of that, which was cool as all get out.
That is fantastic, man.
Yeah, I know, man. Isn't that neat? It's just like the cooking shows where you had to make a carrot cake out of these ingredients, you got 2 hours going.
That's cool.
Like that.
So you have to distill something that's undistillable or weird, or
there's weird.
Yeah.
We did hot peppers. They wanted a hot pepper infused liquor.
That kind of makes sense.
So they we chose bags that you couldn't see them. That had hot peppers in them. And the producer had told me in advance we're going to do hot peppers. So I took a blowtorch, put it in my backpack. I had a blowtorch and a blender in my backpack. And when I got my peppers out, I cut them out and I pulled the blowtorch out and bruleed.
Oh, yeah, man.
Scalded, toasted the peppers before I did the
Makes
run.
them sweeter, right?
And that came through. Well, when you barrel age liquor, the inside of those oak barrels has been charred. Ooh. See that, and so it gets that charred bourbony kind of taste. So my stuff had a hint of char in it because I charred the peppers with my blowtorch. And then I had a pineapple, and I cut it up and poured 150 proof moonshine into the blender with this pineapple, made a slurry out of it, and put it in the thump keg and ran the vapors from the charred peppers through this pineapple slurry liquid, and then through the condenser and into the jar. So it gave a pineapple note and a charred, almost aged note to the distillate.
And it was a tribute. And it was a tribute to Maui burning.
So why would you say that? Why would you say that? Beaz, I'm curious to moonshine. I remember when moonshine used to, someone would be like, got some moonshine. You're like, oh
yeah. It was like Cuban cigars. Remember somebody be like, I got a Cuban cigar. You're like, you can't have that in my house. The cops are going to come and tase me in front of my children.
And there was a different view of how legal or illegal moonshine was.
We've got moonshine sitting there that was gifted. I won't say who gave it to us, but we have
SJ.
It was brewed, and it was brewed with marijuana.
And there's a marijuana nug in there.
There's a marijuana nug that in the bottom of it.
I'll show that to a cop right now. It's right here. If any cops listening,
Delta 9, come and get me. Delta 9.
It doesn't matter.
Read your laws, sovereign citizen.
And speaking of Delta 9, they're selling it everywhere. It's weed.
Have you noticed that? Have you noticed you can buy weed anywhere now?
Yeah.
So what's the legal
ramification?
Of moonshine anymore? Cops don't even care.
Great question.
It is still a federal offense. With that being said, there are several states in the union that will allow home distilling for personal use. Missouri is one of them. Missouri, you can have 100 gallons a year for your personal use if you're over the age of 21.
100 gallons?
Yeah.
Correct. It is still a federal offense, but those states do not enforce that. Yeah. And the feds aren't going to send the FBI to your home.
Missouri's in Missouri you can do some stuff. You can still lock your wife in the wife room in Missouri. No, that's not true. I made that up. That's not allowed.
So it remains illegal unless you are in a licensed distillery, and I'm pretty sure you have to have your still connected to the floor of that establishment. You cannot carry it around with you by federal law.
Oh, it's old school antiquated law. Right. It's got to be bolted to the ground.
So you can't put it in your truck and drive it to the... The
workaround on that, you got to do sugar bolts.
So
you let them wet.
And this too, I hear from a lot of people. Oh, time out. Let me say this: stop asking for moonshine on Facebook.
Yeah, don't do that.
I'm back. There are a lot of, you hear people talk about. They'll send me texts all that, man, or message me, man. I want some of that stuff y'all make in the woods. I don't want the stuff that's in the stores. They use the exact same equipment in the stores. They use big copper pots. They use copper coal. They use the same ingredients as we use in the woods when we're filming the show. The only difference is they make it in huge quantities.
Yeah.
In the distillery, and there's not bugs in the mash.
And I like the bugs. I like the bugs.
And
I feel like the bugs are part of it.
And some argue that it does not have the elfin magic that is created when you make it in the woods.
You
got to
have a human pube in there, right? You got to have like a hair.
Elfin magic.
Yeah, I agree with Beaz. If it's not, I feel like it's almost like a popcorn machine at a seafood restaurant that's never been cleaned. That's going to be the best tasting popcorn in that bar. Down the Hatch. I'm talking about Down the Hatch seafood restaurant.
Yeah.
Once you clean that thing and you've changed the whole, you ruined it.
Because you've got the FDA and the feds coming in, making sure your copper is polished to a certain degree, yada, 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 where when we're out in the woods, they go, we'll just dump that out and start over.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's clean.
Listen, as a businessman, if someone in my audience was like, "Oh, this is not the Made in the Woods moonshine," like I'm like, just print Made in the Woods. Whatever it is, just print whatever the sales.
Or how much has to be made in the woods? So what you do is you take one jar of Made in the Woods, you know what I mean? That's what a lot of people do.
I've learned this too. The word hillbilly means a genius in overalls with a spit cup.
Yeah,
I mean
100%.
there is a lot of chemistry and physics involved in the, and I quote, covert distillation of non-taxed artisan spirits at a non-disclosed location.
This is a scientist with a southern accent.
Yeah, exactly. He just doesn't like lab coats. He likes flannel.
So, congratulations on that, by the way.
Beaz.
And how many years have you been working with Moonshiners? It's got to be
9 years now.
Yeah.
The show, we just finished season 14.
That's
We'll
so
be
awesome.
wrapping up our last episodes are coming up before too long, which really has some cool stuff going on in it. And so season 9 for me, season 14 for the show. And every year they go, we don't even know if we're going to have another season. I've been doing that for the last 7 years in a row.
Yeah, I know you said that to us before, but I think it's locked in.
Right.
People love it.
Next year will be season 15, be 10 for me.
That's awesome.
And it has been so much fun, man, and it is such a hoot to get to do that.
Has that show like infiltrated different countries, and have you been surprised? Because I'm sure that it's like, you know how TV writes, they start selling it off to foreign countries.
Dude, I get email from Germany, from Australia, from the UK. Matter of fact, Discovery Channel UK did a clip on Facebook of one of my episodes, and the stuff that they were writing from the UK, the comments, they would compare me to Al Capone. Just stuff like that. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
So there's that. So, and let me say
I love it when people of other countries are ignorant to what's really happening. You're like, look at how dumb they are. This is great.
So anyway, but let me say this real quick, because I want to say this. I need followers on Facebook.
All right,
Killer
let's do it.
Beaz Comedy, Facebook, Instagram, and so y'all can help me out with that.
Yeah.
So,
They'll hit you right now. The people in the chat room, especially.
Beaz is spelled B-E-A-Z.
B-E-A-Z.
Killer Beaz Comedy.
Also, we got some people that bought some tickets. They're going to come and see you.
Yeah,
nice.
Porkies Comedy Club.
How many shows?
Friday and Saturday.
Friday and Saturday.
Yes.
And there's 2 shows.
Good food.
I think it's just one a night. Is that correct?
One show Friday, one show Saturdays. Porkies Comedy Club.
They got barbecue. Go get something to eat.
They got great burn-ins. They got really good banana pudding.
Yeah, man, good food.
Yeah.
That's a good spot. And the people at Porkies always treat us right. They're good folks.
Yeah, go see Beaz. And it's cool because
say hi to him.
You could just have a conversation with Beaz, and he has an amazing life.
Yeah,
man.
And you did it right, Beaz.
Yeah.
I did it right. I get inspired when you come in here. I was like, I gotta figure out how to come into a landing like Beaz. Like Beaz is still doing his thing, but see, to me, every morning I wake up, I'm like, how am I still alive?
Dude, I'm very grateful. I certainly am. Did I tell you I have a flamethrower?
Yes, I think we talked about the flamethrower.
Okay, good deal.
Mike Busey has a flamethrower. Do you know who Mike Busey is? He owns a house of ill repute here.
It's a social media influencer.
Yeah. Oh, he's crazy. He has a flamethrower, too.
You even call him an influencer? He's like pre-influencer, kind of became an influencer on the wrong social media app.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I guess he's still
Snapchat.
an
Is Snapchat still a thing?
It's still a thing.
It seems like it isn't. I don't hear much about Snapchat.
Last we saw him, he rented a helicopter, a little one, and he flew over the Hollywood sign. And he diarrheaed on it. Like literally he did it, and he filmed himself doing it. And we're like, wow.
I'm sure he's taking that down. He's like, oh, God.
He's like, oh, yeah, please take that down. These people are burning alive.
Yeah, my show's a little different.
Yeah.
but kind of the same. If you look
but the spirit is
squint
the
at
same.
it.
Yeah.
Just as fun.
Bees, thank you so much.
Man, thank you.
You're always
seeing
welcome.
you guys. And again, hit up Porkies, get those tickets, go see Bees. And if you guys come around here again, hey, hit us up. We
certainly will. And corporate killed it on the pinball machine.
Yeah, she did.
I'll give the report. Our first celebrity player, 45 million.
All right.
45 million.
All right.
You got to beat that.
So we will see you on Monday. Welcome back to Corporate Time. We've got Cadillac Pat in studio. How you doing?
How we doing, guys?
Hey, he's here, everybody. Cadillac Pat.
Last time I was texting
If you walk
Pat,
into our chat room right now, let's see if this works. Hold on.
he's got a gigantic box next to him with a beach towel.
Look at
over
that.
it.
If you type guest in our chat room, it says boom, and it says we are joined by our mentally ill friend.
Yes.
Hey, welcome.
I'll take it.
Welcome, buddy.
I love it.
Before we get to the mystery box,
Yeah.
shrouded with a beach towel,
Yeah.
I want to talk to you about your trip to the mountains.
Yeah,
Because
oh.
you were texting me, and you texted me some pictures of
Yeah.
you and some dudes in the snow.
Yeah, me and my bros are in the snow bros.
Just me and one dude. That was it.
Okay, just you and one dude
I took a
in the
dude
mountains.
into the mountains, and you know.
Yeah. So immediately when I saw that, I got a little sad for you. Like, I'm sure Pat would want to share this trip with another woman, with like some sort of significant,
Why would you
some
jump
partner that he goes on a romantic trip to the mountains.
yeah.
Instead, it's just a
guy.
it
a
is-
bro trip
Yeah.
to the mountains.
It
like
is.
both of us, like in separate rooms,
Yeah.
whacking it.
Yeah. Were you in separate rooms? Same room?
No, separate rooms.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
all
yeah.
right,
You
yeah.
shut the doors, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
I know what happened.
Yeah.
Well, it's got there's two beds in there. Why not stay in the same room, right?
yeah, so you can talk.
Are you awake? Hey, are you awake?
We did do that a couple times. We did do that.
You want to come in here and snuggle?
So where'd you go?
We went to my buddy Paul. I grew up with, my best friend from growing up. He owns a rental house in the mountains of North Carolina called Beach Mountain. It's like the closest ski mountain to Florida.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
So he bought a house up there with his family, but he also uses it as an Airbnb. It's a huge. I think it sleeps like 15 people if you need to. Like it's got like 4 bedrooms, 5 bedrooms.
But it's funny because nobody ever does that. I've never seen a person go like it sleeps 15 and then like 15 people go and they have like this amazing, coming of age trip. No, it's usually like a family. Like it's me. It's like a family of 3
that rents it.
and we rent it and we just run around from room to room, just messing up all the rooms.
See, I don't even go in some of the rooms. But I've done that
You
before.
gotta
I
mess
didn't
them
go
all
in
up.
the
You got to
rooms.
go in the game room and jump around. You got to go in the pool room and jump around. You got to go in all the bedrooms and jump around.
So did your buddy hook you up for free, or do you have to pay him?
Yeah,
a little
no,
bit?
we
You
go
pay him
there-
the cleaning fee. That's what I used to do with
Yeah.
the Airbnb.
No,
that was such a cheesy way to do it.
This is my 13-year-old going with him. He needs like a little help, like fixing it up, we go up there and paint a couple walls, throw some trash out, go to the Home Depot, fix a couple things up. We go for like a friend trip, but we're also doing a
Oh,
little work while we're there too. Barely.
So your buddy's like me. Like, hey, while you're there,
Yeah.
take this
Yeah.
dump.
I've done this before.
Yeah, we did
I've
that,
done
yeah.
this. I've ridden to Deltona 9 different times to try and get a goddamn hot tub.
Oh, with a
and you know what
friend.
my
I've
payment
heard of
was?
this
You know what my
friend.
payment was?
Pizza and
I
beer.
almost cursed right now. McDonald's.
I've heard the story. Maybe.
Right, just whatever. I was like, hey, you hungry
And
or
in case
something?
you're wondering, that was Old Testament Tom, not New Testament Tom. New Testament Tom.
Old
New
Testament
Testament
Tom.
Tom hasn't touched McDonald's. All he eats is
I see that.
quinoa and spinach.
Wow.
So, did you go skiing up there?
No, we
Okay,
were gonna go tubing. I want to try snowboarding because I'm good at skateboarding. But my buddy Paul, he's like, it's gonna take you a couple days to kind of acclimate to it. But
He's right.
we really didn't have enough time. We got there late Sunday. Monday we were kind of doing stuff and we got kind of behind. And
I
then
know what
Tuesday
that
same kind of
means,
thing.
yeah.
Same kind of thing.
Monday is the day in bed.
Pat,
And it was 0 degrees.
no
literal.
offense, but you're damn near 45.
Yeah.
Two 45-year-old dudes shouldn't go tubing together. That is for kids.
He had the tubing spot right by the house.
I feel like 2 special needs, 45-year-old men, should be allowed to enjoy a day of tubing.
We were acting like children and kids. Like I've only seen snow like 4 times. It's like the
Oh my
craziest
God.
snow I've ever
At
seen.
one point, did you guys you both bent over to pick up each other's mittens and your noses touched? And you had a Hallmark moment. Did that happen?
No.
You both bent over to pick each other's. You went to get her. He dropped his mittens and you bent over and you're like, your mittens, and then you looked at each other like, oh my God, and you just grazed his cheek.
No,
right?
not this time.
You
Maybe
just
last
grazed
time.
his cheek a little bit, and you're like, you dropped your mittens.
Where we're at, it's bear country as well, so everything's bear related. Funny
That's fat
puns.
guys. That's fat gay guys.
That's true. But we were there last year, and we literally hit a bear with our vehicle. A bear ran out of the freaking woods and hit the the bear jumped and just kind of grazed our rental car and ran off into the woods. I jump out of the passenger seat. I'm chasing this bear down. Literally happened last year.
Yeah.
What are you chasing it down for?
You're chasing a bear just like Michael Jordan. You're wearing the 93 Michael Jordan, like the outfit he wore to the Grammys or something. You're running through the woods.
The bear's telling his other friend bears, you wouldn't believe this white dude.
I'm wearing the 93 Jordans
like
now.
MJ.
Chased by a guy who thinks he's Michael Jordan.
I'm wearing 93 Jordans right now. Okay, these are the 93s.
Yeah, you got the 93s on.
Yes.
See, I've learned a little bit from you. You should be proud of me.
I appreciate that.
Man.
I appreciate that. You remember Uncle Bobby's name all the time, which makes me proud, actually.
Well, I mean, we care about you. We do.
I
like
do.
JJ, stuff you talk about.
I really do
it
think
matters
that means a lot to me, honestly.
We've known you 20 years.
A long time,
yeah. Long time.
So I'm curious, just two 45-year-old dudes kicking it at their friend's Airbnb.
Yeah, at his Airbnb,
It starts to snow really heavy.
Oh, my
You're like,
God.
oh, well, look at this. And then you both run outside and then just start
giggling.
Playing in the snow.
Yeah, we did. We went around the block at 10 o'clock at night when it was like a blizzard, around his block. It's just go down a little hill and around, and just drunk walking around in the middle of the night with a flashlight.
I love you. I love you too.
So are you picking up the snow and you're like, and throw it at it?
I wanted to make a snowman, but I forgot. I just never got to it.
Make a putt play.
Forget it. There's so much you can do.
I know, but
There's snow angel, snowman. That's it. Snowball fight.
Okay, that's it. Yeah.
The tubing. That's for
Build an igloo.
But there's a tubing place right by his house. You could see it from his house. And it's free. We didn't get to it.
Oh man!
You know the horrible thing about tubing is once you go down the
you
hill,
gotta go up.
you have to walk all the way.
Yeah.
You ever walked up a tubing hill? I mean, you are
You ever
winded.
walked up a water slide at a? We are so absolutely spoiled here in Orlando
For
that
sure.
we have conveyor belts for tubes. When you go to the Carolinas or Georgia, you could be I don't care if you're $4, you're carrying your tube up the stairs, 9 flights of stairs
Old
if
Wet
you want
and
to ride
Wild.
down. Yeah,
Wet and
it's
Wild was
hard,
like that.
man.
And then when you go down, you're like, all right, not that good.
Not that good.
Exactly what I thought was going to happen. happened.
Actually, you spent I had more fun standing in the line talking to people, chirping it up with them.
Yeah, he told me that the tubing too. He's like it's so cold, and he's like the big one. It's like you go down 4 or 5 times. Bro, it's really cold. It's it's fun, but we'd be super cold because it was 3 degrees and snowing and windy. He was he's like you would have fun, but man, it's cold. So we didn't. Wasn't that big of a deal.
So you stay there for a couple days. You see some snow.
Yeah.
You get drunk.
Did a little antiquing. Did some antiquing.
No, antiquing. A lot of antique stores up there.
Yeah.
Two
I've had better.
45-year-old men staying together, going and see. All right.
Playing in the snow. Do a little. Ass slapping. The bro ass slapping.
Rhythmic.
It was fun, and then I came back Wednesday. It was like a Sunday through Wednesday thing, and the flight's like an hour and 20 minutes. It's beyond easy.
All right. And then now back to work, back to your normal life.
Back to hiding treasures.
Yeah, no, but I told some guys about my treasures last night. We were talking about. They were asking me about treasure hunting. If I was to go anywhere, I'm like, you picked the right guy to talk to about this.
Wait a minute, just 2
random guys. We're talking about.
Guys are they're like, do you have the map? And the other guys,
I was telling them
we're treasure hunting. You just happen to wander some 2 Indiana Joneses are standing there and they're having a talk about treasure hunting, and then they're like, hey, barkeep.
Yes.
If you had any place in the world to go treasure
They
hunting,
said
where would you go?
Exactly.
And you put on your pith helmet, and you're like,
you came to the right place.
I love this. This is like the beginning of a movie.
Oh my gosh! And I told him that I have treasures hidden right now, and it really didn't get him too excited. I was hoping they
you
were.
Sound insane. That's what crazy people say when they go like, "Hey, barkeep, where would you go treasure hunting?" And you're like, "You're in luck. I got treasures hidden right here."
And you're pretty loose with the term treasure.
Yeah.
Which most people envision when the Goonies found the ship, and it's
I'm taking it back,
it's jewels and chests
rubies.
full
There's
of
some rubies.
pearls.
Yeah. Well, I do hide junk in my treasures sometimes as well. Like in mason jars, I have stuff like junk, but I think it's treasure is hidden as well.
Yeah, that's what crazy
the
people
two
say.
that are on the road.
Yeah.
Well, I knew.
Hoarders say that.
Yeah, that's what I was referring to. It was the junk in the mason jar.
Yeah, you understand that insane people feel like this Fuji water bottle that I'm holding that's clearly trash. Like they think that this is the most precious thing on the planet.
Even you put $1 bill in there.
It's still a dollar bill.
That's nothing to them. That's trash. That's trash to a crazy person.
And it's worth less every day that goes by.
Yeah.
So soon it will be just worth the paper it's printed on, and that's when the crypto skyrockets to the moon. That's what they say. Anyway,
Beautiful crypto.
so let's get to this mystery box.
All right.
It's pretty big now.
I mean, one of these days it is going to be a gun. We've made so many jokes. I mean,
I know it's hard for you to get out of your little nook.
No,
for me,
I'm in a
it's
wheelchair
straight
now.
shot.
A lot of people don't know that I am confined to a wheelchair.
And with your hips, he'll gun you down easy.
Yeah. I'll beg for.
You've been running, so you might be able to make a run for the border.
Also, knowing about his gay vacation story, I'll just beg allegiance to him. I'll say, I'll give you any favor you need. You know what I mean? I'll be like, I'm in the chair.
I'll give you a snow job.
Yeah. What do you need?
Job.
Yeah. What do you need? I'll become I'm your private dancer. Dancer for money.
So
all right, I brought a couple things in there, but there's only one main thing.
Okay.
But the first
Now he's just bringing in cartons of trash.
Wow. First thing I did is I got you guys a gift card for always being nice to
Oh,
me. As you're being mean to me.
I was being mean to him.
God.
You know what? Give it to Tom. I don't deserve
This
it.
is for lunch for you guys.
Give it to Tom. I don't deserve that. Give
So
it to
Pat,
Tom.
this I'll show everybody.
terrible
on this.
person.
It's a Publix gift card. Now, me and Daniel do have this ongoing joke we've had for damn near 25
I
years.
can't eat there anymore, man. I can't.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
You can get Diet Mountain Dews there at least.
Yeah, I will. I'll drink them up.
So this is a little behind the scenes. We don't talk about that often because we don't want people to think how horrible we are.
Oh, I don't know what you're gonna say.
So me and
Is
Daniel.
this about cream pie from the cafe downstairs?
No. Okay, so this is not horrible because we mean no ill will by it. But me and Daniel will often find ourselves in some sort of room. Used to be the office of the radio station. Now it's this room. It's all any room we're in.
Got it.
We find ourselves making fun. And by making fun, I mean we're saying the worst, horrible things
really.
and to the people that are nicest to us.
That is true.
It's not the bad people. It's not about the bad people.
No.
It's about the people that have only done nice
It's not
things
about
for
them
us.
even.
Well, it's your love language.
It's a
you know?
reflection of ourselves.
Yeah, and we're just making horrible jokes about them, making fun of them, making fun of the nice things they do, how good of people they are, just saying horrible things. And the joke's been for 25 years, as we're saying these horrible, things that if they heard them, that would make them sad.
You invented this joke. This is a Tom joke.
And then for 25 years, we made the joke that we're saying all these things, then we turn around, and the person that we're talking about is holding a cake for us.
That sounds like best. I'm off Tom and Dan.
Yeah. It's like, thank you for having this on your show. Whatever. Thank you for doing it. Thank you for being my friend.
Thanks for being you. Thanks for being
It
you.
just happened right now.
Yeah, that's why he's pointing it out. And you're making it worse by not realizing it.
And then
now I want to make fun of you more.
And then we see them holding the cake for us, and then we feel horrible because they heard us say these horrible things.
And that's
they've
the first
only
time
done
it's ever really happened, right?
Yeah. Jimmy used to be involved in this too. He goes hard.
Jimmy does go the hardest.
Oh,
we
can
learned
see
it
that.
from him, actually.
Yeah, we did learn
it's
it from
his
him.
fault.
He tried to pull us into his
this web of
his
nightmares.
horrible alt-right ways.
Yeah. There used to be, I'm just going to, a character named General Burns.
Oh, my God. I cannot believe you even said that. This guy just said that to pucker me. You see how serious? I got serious.
I see
we
it
never
now.
talked. We can't even say it.
This guy's flying into the sun right now.
We can't even say who General Burns.
Golly.
Oh, my gosh.
But Jimmy laughed the hardest at it, and that's all I'll say.
And Jimmy said we're going to hell, and we don't even believe in God, and Jimmy does. Jimmy does believe in God.
So you did the cake to us.
Yeah,
You
just
did.
now.
I'm sorry, I apologize.
We made
Yeah,
all
it's
those
okay,
gay jokes,
you know.
the mountain gay. And then you gave
And I
us
bring you a present.
Oh, yeah,
I'm
a present.
sorry.
Yeah, finally happened.
It did finally happen.
So, okay.
I have to give that back to him now.
How much money is it for? Let me,
Yeah, take a
Let me
peek
look
at
at the
it.
receipt here.
Yeah, what's it for?
All right. $25. We spend more than that every day.
Yeah, God.
That wouldn't even get me into one.
Jesus Christ! I was gonna use it.
I get a vitamin water.
I was gonna use it for my Lexapro at the pharmacy, man.
You know how
Won't
expensive.
even make a dent in it.
You know how expensive protein bars are nowadays.
Damn,
Like
one sub is
$13.
$25. Do you even shop at Publix anymore? Apparently not, because you gave us $25.
Yeah, every day. I mean, it's at least 30 if it's $1. Sorry, keep going. Now, what else you got?
All right. So I brought these. I've had this my whole life. I've been traveling around. It's been in the closet for my whole life. I brought more trash for you.
We covered that in the first segment.
All right.
I got Coca-Cola bottles.
Oh, God.
Everybody.
I did say trash, didn't I?
Someone look at the patina on these.
Oh my God,
Okay.
my wife collects these.
I have these were going to be my retirement when I got older.
Okay, so this
The
is
Shaquille O'Neal Pepsi long neck.
Yeah. Oh, I have
These
two
are-
6-packs of them.
Shack Attack Pack.
Yes.
Pepsi glass bottles.
And they say collector's edition, which you automatically know they're worth nothing. That's like the thing. If it says collectors, that means
really?
it's like that's like.
Have you looked at these?
I have
Can I
not.
hold them?
Sure. Just hold the bottom.
Have you
There you
looked
go.
these up?
I have not.
Oh, they're very
So-
dusty, like
Yeah.
American pickers.
Got the patina on. I left it on there.
Yeah. I would leave.
Let's look them up. They can't be more than like $10.
Hey, I don't want to move it. The cardboard.
So I noticed
Yeah.
one of
They're in
them
really good
has
shape.
less Pepsi in the others.
Yeah.
I don't know how that
Did it
happens.
just
but-
evaporate out of the small
Must.
pinhole?
Oh yeah.
I mean, what do you think you could still drink
wow.
one of them?
I mean, you probably technically could drink. I make that joke where, like, when the end of the race war happens, the end of the world happens. I've got cereal boxes with cereal, and I got soda to last us at least rations for a couple of weeks. But I mean, I've got
and then you're
original
like,
Marlins inaugural season. We're from South Florida. These are going to be worth so much money. They're
Damn.
worthless.
I mean, like again, you got to get somebody to buy this, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
people are listing it for around $300.
Really?
Yeah.
like a full
Again,
Shack Attack pack.
yeah.
But someone's got to buy it.
Yeah, somebody's got to buy it. You know, I mean, most of the
You
time
have to
they're
look at last sold.
most of the time they're just selling the holder for like $25. So,
But I got the bottles. I got 2 6-packs of them.
and then some of them range 40, 45. I mean, it's not worthless. I'll tell you that.
All right, that's good to know.
Yeah, I mean, some people, it's amazing that so many people collected these. They're no,
I have like
they're all over the place.
Super Bowl. Ooh, the Georgia Dome from Atlanta.
Oh,
I got a whole 6-pack of these.
Yeah. Well, the Coca-Cola, the main,
And these are
bottling
8-ounce
plant
little bottles
is
too.
there. Yeah, you get one commemorative when you go through the world of Coke.
And then you got the 93 inaugural Marlins. I'm a Marlins fan, but these are probably worth nothing because Marlins are no good. But
So when the Florida Marlins first started, they partnered with a Coca-Cola,
Yeah.
and they came out with like a Florida Marlins 6-pack of Coke.
and a little bit of trivia, my dad won season tickets to the first year of the Florida Marlins by spelling Coca-Cola or spelling Marlins and the 20-ounce Coke bottle tops. We spelled it Marlins, and the A was the hard one to get. So we had 2 for free inaugural season tickets in '93. We spelt the word Marlins. We won.
No, really?
Tom, you had all the tabs, but you didn't know how to spell it. So they just like,
Well, yeah, we had
Was it
free tickets.
I or they?
I don't know. I got nothing.
So you and your dad were collecting the tops
Yeah.
and trying to find like the Monopoly or
Yep,
all the other
yep.
contests.
And we had all the letters. And the A we couldn't find. We got an A.
And did you and your dad go out and buy a ridiculous amount of different Coca-Cola products to try to find the A?
I don't think so. I think we just were buying 20-ounce bottles, and we just back in the day, soda wasn't as bad for you. You know, you didn't realize how bad sodas were, kind of thing. And we just were buying a lot of soda, and I guess we just kind of got lucky. I don't know.
You got one of those thick boys in there. Hold that thick boy.
Did
up
you
again.
go to the games?
Yeah, look at that. That's what I used to drink. That is okay. Can I see that?
Yeah. Yeah, we went to, there's like 82 home games. We went to pretty much every one. And I have all the tickets and I should have brought that. I'll bring that next time. I have all the tickets in a binder, like every single one. Every single game ticket I have. Like, if the Marlins were any good, it'd be worth a lot more.
This was my favorite style of soda bottle ever made. When sodas first
Is there a
came
year
out,
on that thing, Daniel? There's got to be. Like, look at that black little print thing.
I've never seen a soda bottle like that.
Right there. Look by your thumb.
When I was a kid.
Right there by your thumb, above your thumb in black.
It looks like a medicine bottle.
16G31 18:27.
Yeah, we
whatever
don't
that
really
means.
know, yeah.
But this is how sodas were like. You'd go to the gas station, and you could either get a can of soda, or they had these, and they were like fat guys, and it would have a twist top. Now this has a pop open top, but it would have like a plastic twist top on it, and they were glass. And I loved them, man, like because you got a little more soda, and it felt like cool.
Yeah, Gatorade's had a glass
It
bottle
just
too.
feels cooler.
I've never seen a soda in a glass bottle shaped like this.
Yeah, it was just cooler.
It's like a 2-liter miniature glass 2-liter.
Yeah,
like there's no neck. There's no,
I guess
they
beer
eventually
like that. I
made
get
the next
mellow
one.
I wonder if
yellow.
it was a regional thing, because honestly, I don't remember these either. I don't even know idea where I got that, because that wasn't a Florida thing, or South Florida thing at least. I don't know. I have no idea. Maybe
in
it's
Florida,
regional.
we had a twist top. I know for a fact. It was
but I've never
plastic.
seen that bottle either.
No, that's interesting. But the shape of the regular bottle is pretty close. And then, and Grady Seasons is nailing the other part I liked. The glass bottle, what it would go around the side was styrofoam. It was a little piece of styrofoam, and it was fun to pick it off.
I know what you mean.
It was like
yes,
like
I know
the
exactly
label?
what you mean. Yeah,
The label
it
was
was like
thin.
super 1/8 of an inch thick styrofoam.
like
I know exactly what it
thin-ass
means.
styrofoam, and you could pick it with your finger. It was very satisfying to pick.
That's weird. I never knew they made them out of styrofoam.
It was a label. It was like
Yeah.
beyond thin. I can remember this now
Yeah,
too. I think
like a
2 liters
sheet.
were made of glass. I think too, and I think they had it.
2 liters are glass, or some of them were glass. No, some of them were plastic. But like the little glass bottles would have the little styrofoam around the outside. I remember the New York Seltzer. What was that seltzer company?
New York Seltzer there was a brand called New York Seltzer.
Yeah, they were the one, and I remember you'd see the pink ones, and then Coke, Sprite had it.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah,
the little styrofoam.
but it was satisfying as a human. It's hard to explain this, and hopefully I'll hear from somebody that like will also have this memory. But it was satisfying as a human to take your fingernail and pick at the styrofoam because it was wrapped tight around the glass, and it would pick through, and then you could peel the styrofoam off, and it would just like.
It was almost like glue, but not glued.
Yeah, it wasn't glued. It was just kind of stuck on there with like, I don't know. Somebody email me and tell me what I'm remembering.
You know what's interesting is it feels like, because my dad had multiple beer cans that were unopened in his garage, like on display, like on the top of the shelf
like
near his
Nelly
race
beer
photos or
or
whatever. It was like he had an old Coors Light can and some other inaugural
I got some of those too.
beer can. And then my stepdad had a couple unopened cans of liquid
My
that
dad
he
did too.
saved for
Yeah.
like collection purposes.
Yeah.
And it's
a
weird.
dad thing.
It's an old school thing that I feel like no one
Collects.
ever now would ever look at a can of anything and think like, oh, this will be worth something
Yeah.
in like 20 years.
Yeah.
And it was an old school mentality.
Yeah, Dad's collected beer. My dad had 2 beers. We had a Billy beer,
I got a bush like a
From-
bush light with the weird top that's like the pull top.
and we had the JR beer.
JR, yeah.
There was a Dallas.
Was it JR from Dallas?
Yeah, with JR. It was Dallas the
show.
the show,
Yeah.
the late night, I guess, soap opera. And it was a Ewing beer or a JR beer. Hold on, I'm gonna have to look that up.
His name was J.R. Ewing, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it was JR beer.
So what made you keep these this long? Is it when you saw them, you're like, oh, this will be worth something one day?
Yeah, when I was a kid, everything was gonna be worth something someday. Like anything sport related, anything Michael Jordan. But this is Michael
here
Jordan,
it is.
But
This is exactly what we had. I don't know if I can put. Yeah, there it is. It was J.R. Ewing's private stock. It was that's exactly what it looked like.
And then your dad kept it because he was like, "Oh, this is not limited edition."
It probably says limited
Yeah.
edition on it.
Yeah, my dad.
That's
said,
what that's what again. This Shaq thing says collector's edition. Like, and you think there's limited amount of them, and I'm sure they didn't mass produce it like crazy. But yeah, when I was a kid, me and my buddies, all we did was collect everything you could think of. Like, and some stuff just sticks around with me. You know, like this was in my mom and dad's house until like 5 years ago, and then I just took it and put it in a closet in my house, and it's just sitting there. It was in their house for 25 years. Like my mom and dad's house, I'm an only child, so nothing gets messed with unless I mess with it.
No, really, they keep everything like
Well,
you died.
My mom and dad. My dad's like, all your stupid toys, I threw them in the trash.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like my dad, he did like that's they
Do they
love
still
me,
live
but
in the same house?
Same house I grew up in. Yeah.
Oh,
That's
wow,
pretty cool.
That's unique.
That's
Yeah.
wild.
And
dude.
okay, their kitchen was from 1954. It's still right now 1954 kitchen. The bathrooms are from the 50s. Like the house is nothing.
Oh
we don't have
my
central
God,
air. They have
it's
a wall
in the
unit.
blood, dude. It's in the blood.
Yeah, yeah.
That's wild.
But they never were collectors or anything like that. But my mom and dad don't really care. Like my fridge in my house right now is from 1997. I got new everything else. Like everything else in my house is pretty new. But I don't see an old fridge. I just see a fridge. And my mom and dad, I think, are the same way. Like I don't feel the need to upgrade all the time, or Like, I don't know. They don't have that either at all.
I wish I had. My new fridge sucks. I wish I kept my old fridge.
That's why I want to keep my fridge. My fridge works great. Like, everybody tells me new fridges
I want the
break down.
old school freezer on the top. It's big.
That's what my mom and dad have.
and it's refrigerator on the
You
bottom.
know, I like the freezer on the top.
And the door's big. I want 2 big doors. I don't want 2 little doors. I don't want ice coming out of it. I don't want water coming out of it. I want freezer, small big door on top, refrigerator, giant door on the bottom. That's it. 2 handles. That's it. You plug it in, it's got cold and colder. That's it.
My mom and dad don't have a dishwasher. Their house doesn't have one, and they just got ice in that fridge probably like 12 years ago. My buddy Paul, the same guy I had the gay trip with in North Carolina just now.
Yeah.
He's a plumber. He ran a water line
He ran a water line in your anus.
Oh, so it always had the ability. It just never had the water line.
No, the fridge had the ability, but the house was 1954. The house never came with that. It doesn't have a dishwasher, so he went under the sink and retrofitted a little thin plastic line.
That's like putting a CD player on your bike.
He like glued it to the corner of the house and then just put it.
It's pretty. It's not that hard.
No, not that hard.
That's why I'm like, they went there all these years without putting like it had the ability to make ice, and then your parents are like, not yet.
No,
I'm a purist.
The faucets in the bathrooms are the original to the house, and they leak like crazy. Like it's completely original. They just don't care. Like, like the oven is 1954 oven in the kitchen. It looks
does it work?
now cool. Yeah, it works.
Yeah, then it's fine because I had a really old oven in my first house. It was a double oven. And Andrea still wishes we had that because we had a little oven on the top.
The little baby one,
The little baby oven, you can do like a pizza for kids. It's the best oven in the world.
I've got the double oven.
It's the greatest thing in the world, dude.
Is it original old school oven or is it
No,
old?
it's new.
No,
Yeah,
you get the
yeah,
good
yeah.
one. But like double oven rules.
Oh yeah, because you got the house redone completely a few years ago.
Yeah. I don't. All the old stuff is garbage.
Yeah.
You know.
Hey, technology is good. But there are some things like old school washing machines and dishwashers before all the goddamn regulations about water.
Exactly.
Saving water or whatever. Like old school dishwasher will use like 25 gallons of water. It's just waste. And then it'll take the last 15 minutes is just the water dumping out. And then but now it's all about like using less water and like tiny little bits of squirts.
I have a very small dog. He's tiny. Like he's like what? A foot long and less than a foot tall.
Yeah.
And when Maisie and I give him a bath, I have her fill the water up past his head because it's just easier.
It's easier that way because then he can't go anywhere.
Up, all the way up. And then all he has to do is swim a couple circles.
He's good.
Him up good. He's good to go. It's
Yeah.
Hey, the right tools. You got to have the right tools. And for this, a lot of water.
Yeah. I like
the
waste.
tool.
Like
It's not waste.
I'll heat my. You could fit. It would be crowded, but you could fit like 8 adults in my hot tub.
Oh yeah, it's sizable.
I'll heat the whole damn thing sitting there by myself.
Hell yeah.
It's 100 degrees.
And don't let anybody else in.
Yeah. I'm sitting there with my arms stretched out.
You're like Scarface.
I'm like, what a waste this was.
Yeah, it's too hot. It's too hot. I think I'll get out.
I only had 5 minutes. I'm like, oh god, too hot.
Put some ice cubes in
And then
there.
I see it just steaming. It's just, wait, no one's sitting
Yeah,
there.
it's hard to. I don't like watching TV unless it's steamed up.
So where do you keep this, Pat, in your house?
This is just in my closet, my spare room. I have a 3-bedroom house, and it's just me and my buddy Frank. But I keep it in the closet with all my baseball cards and endless supplies.
What does Frank think of the constant sea of knickknacks?
Well, the dude bros that they think it's cool. They were like, oh, cool.
Oh man, old Pepsi. Yes.
It's the girlfriends and wives.
Yeah.
Garbage out of here.
You're right.
Yeah.
She's like, what the hell are you keeping this
Yeah,
for?
Frank says, I'd never sell that stuff.
He makes fun of it for me too. He makes fun of me for it. Yeah, but he does like it though. Like we go I go antiquing and he likes tagging along sometimes. Not all the time, but I buy stuff just for him to make fun of me, but he does like a lot of it though.
What are some of your newest acquisitions?
Though I just got a thing in North Carolina. I got a giant Pepsi can cooler. But it's like this. It's
a cooler that looks
like a can, a Pepsi can, and but it's literally this as big as I'm showing you. And I checked it in my checked luggage. I checked it with my luggage, and the guy checking my bag, he didn't want to even give me any time of day about it because people that work at the airport, they hate their lives, you know. He goes, check.
Also, you're having way too much fun. You're the guy on the airplane that's pretending to drink out of novelty giant.
Yes.
You did that, didn't you?
No.
Yes, you did.
If I had had a couple drinks in line, I would have. But I
didn't look at any cute girl and hold your big Pepsi and be like, "I'm very thirsty. Hope I don't have to pee on the flight."
I did when I bought it.
Yeah. I knew you would.
Now you got to understand, a lot of the reason they hate their lives is because of the customers.
Yeah. But I didn't say a word to him. But he didn't even look twice. He looked right dead eye in the face of me and just like, "You checking 2 bags?" I'm like, "Yep." He takes
He's probably hoping there's a bomb in that Pepsi
Now, Pat, I can imagine that through a lifetime of your collecting, that your house has to be pretty full.
No, it's not. It's not really. But I buy a lot of small stuff. I like smalls because it's easier because it doesn't take up a lot of room.
Do you have a lot of? You don't have any pathways that are like lined with a?
No, his house. I've seen his house online and stuff, and it's not
normal.
because I'm waiting for like the one picture, and I'm like, oh,
but
sad.
they always clean one. They always clean one room.
No, my
they
house
always clean one.
You would
room.
not. My house is very normally like it. I don't think it's over. There's nothing. My garage is completely empty. All my rooms look like normal bedrooms.
How is that possible? My garage is filled.
My garage is empty.
Now what?
Because I was gonna say you've been looking for a place for Max to practice his breakdance.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, I mean, the garage is the best place. You put a couple box fans in there; it's nice and cool. He can do it when it's not raining. But you're gonna have to get rid of some stuff.
I just cleaned it out after Christmas. It's full again.
You've cleaned your garage more than you've cleaned your garage more than I've been alive years.
So how do you do you get rid of any of this stuff? Ever?
Yeah. You know, stuff kind of. I like giving stuff away. You know, like I don't really I don't sell any of my
it's
stuff.
trash. So
yes, sometimes it gets thrown away.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
I just want to clarify.
Now, before we run out of time, the listener that now has a grudge with you
I
about
know.
your Michael Jordan card.
I'm glad that you remembered this, Tom. Thank you.
He challenged you, said your card wasn't worth anything.
Yeah.
And then you got it appraised,
graded, yes,
graded, and then we found, and then if you listened to the show, you heard that we were speculating based on the grade that it could be worth $8,000 at the very least. We were saying
here's a little more.
Wow.
Hey guys, this is Cadillac Pat's hater of the Michael Jordan card. I just want to call back and say I'm going to hold strong and say I still think that it's not real. You can send anything into PSA to get it graded. In fact, there are a lot of reprint Michael Jordans that have been graded as an 8 and are a couple $100 maybe, whatever. But it's going to say it's going to say what it's listed. It's going to say the title of it. It's going to have everything on it. So I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. And I'm going to say if you don't get $5 to $6K for that, or at least an offer for that, then I will go out and if you get that money, I will go out and I will buy a Michael Jordan reprint and I will eat it. And I will film myself eating it as a public apology to Pat. But until then, I'm going to hold strong.
Wow.
All right.
Ruining dreams.
Ruining dreams. Yeah, and he did say he would film himself. It does sort of sound like I will kill myself eating it, which really helps the ante. He will not be doing that. We urge people to not kill themselves.
Now,
Please do not do that.
Really want to see this guy eat a card.
Me too. Especially a card
I got to sell my card.
Especially as a card that he sold or he had to purchase it for a couple $100, because that makes it even better.
Now, he did say if you get an offer for it, a legitimate offer.
I could easily. I mean, I could.
Is there a possibility of you putting it out there for sale, getting an offer? What is the...
If we mention it on the show, he's going to get an offer because somebody's going to want to see the guy.
I mean,
the card.
if I lowball, he said like $6,000. If I put it on eBay right now for $5,000, it'll be sold in a day. Okay, a Jordan rookie card graded 8 will be sold in an hour.
Well, he's saying that the company just grades willy-nilly.
No,
whatever.
I mean, I trust this guy thinks he's real, but
he has no belief in the world.
No, he has no belief. Okay, if PSA or Beckett had, they would not have the credibility they do to put grades on cards if they were grading fake cards. No one would trust them.
Norm wants you to post it on the BDM page, so the BDMs can figure it out.
Yeah,
absolutely.
The internet detectives, they'll look at it
heavy.
Yeah, they'll zoom in. They'll be like, oh, look.
Well, it's graded. It's got the Beckett. It's graded in a thing. Like it's in a slab is what they call it.
Okay, well, post the slab on the BDM page, and then so that everybody can nitpick it.
I know. I don't want this because I don't care. I have it. I have it graded.
That sounds like a man that's lying to me.
No, I mean,
this is what Tom does.
You have to care because it's a difference between you having something's worth.
Well, I know I have it.
I know nothing.
I know it's worth it. I mean, it's worth a lot of money.
You do realize that if it's not, that the only people that win here are me and Tom.
Yeah, but if this guy, I want to see this guy eat the card and be like, I was wrong.
That's true.
But what's even better is he would have to buy the card for a couple $100. See, just eating paper, that's meaningless.
He's got to buy. You're saying he offered to buy a fake card.
That. Yeah, he said, I will buy a card for a couple $100 and eat the card. That's what I like, is that this dude is straight pissing money down the. I like that.
And then could you just put the card up on eBay and then get a legitimate offer
and then decline it?
Yeah, and then decline it and then just take that proof. Or is that kind of like?
It could be collusion. Like I could have you make I could put it up there and you could. make the offer.
Well, me and Daniel thought about that already. We would just buy the card from you for $5,000, so this guy eats it, then you give us the card back.
Ooh, I like that too.
Or we wait till Michael Jordan dies.
Oh yeah,
we already researched that.
And then it skyrockets.
It's gonna go through the roof.
We already researched that.
And my Dwayne Rock Johnson card, if he ever runs for office, oh my God, that's gonna be worth $1 trillion.
Yeah. And Michael Jordan, I looked it up, and people say he's in good health, and his yellow eyes are just something that old African American men get sometimes.
Okay.
It's called something, whatever. But I saw some other reports from friends that say he doesn't eat and he drinks a lot. So I was like, yeah, I mean, if you do, he's in 60 years old, right?
Yeah, 62.
So you're not going to live that long if you're gambling.
61. His birthday's coming up.
You're living the life. You'd think someone that rich would be like doing the biohacking with some scientist, but I don't think he's doing that.
That just makes you look too creepy.
I think he's smoking his cigars. Eyes are yellow. He's drinking, gambling.
His birthday's right in a year. So you're February guy, right?
You don't hear much about him.
You're the 19th?
15th.
Oh,
it's like in a couple weeks.
Yeah,
turning 43.
I'm the 9th, February 9th.
Okay. How old are you turning?
Turning 45.
Oh, yeah. Wow, I did guess it right.
Yeah, you did.
Wow, you did.
Yeah. I forgot that time goes by and you get older.
Yeah.
I remember you as being 42. You just keep getting older. Oh, my God.
I mean, this was acceptable back in the day, but now, oh, my God.
So let's go back to your past relationships.
Oh,
Pat.
yeah.
So was there a time that you had a partner and they look at, hold on, what's that other thing you got there?
Oh, he's got a gun. I told you what's happening.
I brought just a bunch of packs of unopened cards that I go around and get over the years, like a bunch of like novelty Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, RoboCop 2.
Yeah, but they're unopened, which means you're buying. But so you're buying things that were meant to be opened. That are
you got a pack of Hustler cards.
Yeah, Hustler.
Oh, those are good ones.
What do they say what does it say on the front of it? Throw it to Daniel. What does that say?
These are the worst things you can give me because I'm so perverted. Look for randomly inserted specialty cards and autographs from your favorite Hustler honeys. Hustler collector cards.
You want to open it? Let's open it.
If
there are naked chicks in there, let's open it.
Oh, there's naked chicks in here.
Yeah, no, hold on. It could be worth. Look it up before we open it. Unopened. Well, like, what if we?
Do you honestly think that a Hustler card? This was the. You know what? Forget the Jordan. It's the Hustler.
Larry Fine. Yeah.
There might be. There might be a signed to beaver hunt in here.
They made a movie about the old wheelchair creepo.
That's me, Tom. I'm right here.
Larry Flint. I think,
right. He was the Hustler guy.
You want to open it?
No. Look up unopened Hustler card value just to make sure, because I don't want to ruin
Series 2.
I didn't even know they made playing cards.
Neither did I. Neither did I.
Did they make Playboy cards? I'm sure they did.
I'm
right?
sure. I just haven't come across any because I come across cool weird packs and I buy them all the time.
Now,
you can get them on eBay right now. You can get 1993 8 packs of them for $55.
Okay, well, $55.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's like a $6-8 pack of cards.
They're going for about right about $10 a pack if you buy one.
Like if you liquidated every valuable, and I use that term loosely.
Yeah.
And they are completely naked. You cannot show these cards completely naked.
Like, let's just say that someone, a professional.
There's weenies in some of these cards.
There's weenies?
Yeah, it's live it's a live action card.
Oh, okay. So there's
if we liquidated all my assets.
Yeah, and a professional came in and got the top value for each pack of cards. Like it was Hustler.
I got boxes of unopened stuff too.
Yeah, all the soda, all the garbage, the ping pong, everything. Everything. What do you think we're talking here?
I mean, are you including
50, 80K?
No, if you're including my Jordan card, my The Rock card, my pinball machine, my Miss Pac-Man machine, my 1955 working Philco refrigerator, my claw machine, I mean, those are the big ones.
Okay, yeah.
And my Cadillac, I guess. I mean, maybe I don't even know. I mean, all this stuff is not worth a lot. That's nickel and diamond.
Estate
Oh, I love
I added my this.
I love him. I saw him live years ago.
Yeah, I added my Pac-Man machine. I added my Charlie McCarthy, my life-size Godzilla, my beanbag chair.
Out of all this garbage, me and Crystal, the one thing that we both agreed that we wanted for our house at one time is the tabletop Pac-Man.
Oh, yeah.
Because we both had memories of playing
Sitting
it.
in bars while your parents drank.
Steak and ale. Sure. And she used to play it a lot, steak and ale. And then I was like, I remember going to Steak and Ale near my grandma's house in Miami. and then I'd play that, and then she'd get me a.
Mine was at Bennigan's.
Shirley Temple.
Yes, at Bennigan's. I would get the same thing.
You were just doing a fancier version of me at Down the Hatch.
Yeah.
Because they had the popcorn machine, and then they had a tabletop, but they had Donkey Kong. They had tabletop Donkey Kong.
You can get a new
bar.
one, a new old one for relatively inexpensive. There's a place right by my house that sells them. I'll get you a price on one.
Okay, because I was thinking about getting one for the studio.
You can get one cheap.
I love it.
Yeah.
You can get one. I bet you on
But you
Facebook
want to get the
Marketplace.
real one. You don't want to get the AN1s. Those
No.
are too small. You want to get the real ones with the glass.
And I want
the tempered glass on the top.
And I want the vintage.
I mean, those you pay more money for, but then also there's just like this more. You got to get it fixed.
Pizza Hut had one.
Like my Ninja Turtle thing's been fully restored. If you get an original one, the thing breaks down.
Well, I mean, I'll get a restored original by some crazy person like you.
I got a guy.
I knew you did.
And a cigarette machine.
I wanted one of those too.
Stocked with cigarettes.
I would love that. Let's see if Pat knows this. This is the challenge. And in preparation for you being here,
all right,
I'm going to play a commercial that I have fond memories of because it's so absolutely bizarre and crazy. It's a Nestle commercial from 1986.
All right.
In fact, I have the actual tape here. This was the Nestle commercial, and it was done by J. Walter Thompson. The style was based on early 20th century works of American painter Maxfield Parrish. So this is back when we actually gave a damn. So when we would do things like commercials were based on like true artistic work. Not just AI garbage now or Little Yachty yelling mumble rap and then, we're shooting Mellow Yellow and Mountain Dew across the street.
These to get a director.
Wait, why didn't you play my intro today?
I was going to make you a new one.
Okay.
And apologies, but we got a little
All right, that's fine.
We got a little in the weeds.
Right.
So here, tell me if you remember this commercial. It's one of my all-time favorites, and boy, is this dramatic.
It was a countdown.
Oh, my
this
God.
is like the actual test footage from when it would have played.
2.
Here we go.
Sweet dreams you can't resist. N-E-S-T-L-E-S. A dream as sweet as this. N-E-S-T-L-E-S. Creamy white. Dreamy white. Nestle makes the very best. N-E-S-T-L-E-S. Sweet dreams you can't resist.
Yeah! Do you guys remember that?
Unless they've used that, I feel like I remember the chocolate coming out of the chocolate, but unless I used that before,
Do you remember the song?
I oddly remember the commercial.
The song, dude.
I was only 4 or 5
rattled
years old.
me. When I heard this again, this came up on like TikTok or something. I heard the song.
Yeah.
Creamy white, dreamy white, and the lady goes. Like I love it. I love it, man.
Damn, you
like,
hit that falsetto good. That was nice.
It's way more than you needed to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For a candy bar.
I mean, were they being ironic that it's like so over the top, like dramatic because it's candy made it good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, I remember watching that and thinking I got to get me some of those. I was like, that's fancy.
Some of that
candy.
white chocolate.
Yeah, that's fancy candy.
Well, speaking of white, this was during a time where they only used the whites.
White
in the
people.
commercial.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, 2 white people.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah.
2 boring
They
ass
probably
white
felt
people.
empowered rather because of like white chocolate. They're like, finally.
Oh, look, a Tom and Dan fan came into Brass Tap where I work Wednesday through Saturday nights. You can find me there. He brought me a whole lot of the Simpsons watches, and I want to give a shout out to him. I forgot his name, but he gave me all of them, and I got one of them working, and here, listen.
Yeah.
That's from 2002. Yeah,
It's absolutely terrifying.
45-year-old man is wearing this.
Yeah.
I'm wearing it to work tonight.
Well, hold on. So if you have any 90s garbage
Yeah.
you want to give to Pat.
You would swing by his bar, and then you give him the trash, and he'll take you out back and show you his treasure.
Does Tactical Hat still listen?
Yeah.
He said he has a Game Boy game for me that's old and it's hard to get. It's like the first Game Boy.
Yeah.
He said he's got something for me. That was like a year ago.
Old Game Boy going. Little and hard to get. Yeah.
Give it to you in the mountains.
You got any 90s trash, especially with Michael Jordan on it? I want it.
All right.
So if you're gay and have trash, find Pat.
Yeah, he's at the Brass Tap by Waterford Lakes. He's there bartending.
Yeah. Go find his treasures.
All right, Pat.
All right, guys.
We appreciate it.
We
And
love you,
also,
buddy.
follow him on Instagram.
It's a fun follow.
TikTok, At Cadillac Pat, one word on both of them.
He's a fun follow for sure. For sure.
And we will see you tomorrow.